My brothers and sisters, every year on this second Sunday of Lent, we hear the account of the transfiguration of Jesus on the top of Mount Tabor. That physical appearance of the Lord changing before the eyes of Peter, James, and John. These three catch a glimpse of future glory. Their discipleship had brought them that far. Their discipleship would ultimately bring them to a Calvary experience. But the Transfiguration is an account that is meant to instill hope within them for the future. Hope for the future resurrection. The hope where the glory of God awaits. This weekend in our parish, we have Commitment Weekend for our Building Disciples Sharing Love program. It is a program that is ultimately meant to bring hope to us for the future as we continue to live our discipleship here in Carbondale and the surrounding area. So at this time, I would now like to invite Francine Newcomb to speak to us for a few moments on how she is living as a faithful steward here at Our Lady of Mount Carmel Parish and participating in our important ministries and organizations.
Thank you, Father Joe. Good morning. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Francine Newcomb. I've been a member of OLMC my entire life. I was raised here at Our Lady of Mount Carmel. Many of my childhood memories involve Our Lady of Mount Carmel. When you think of Our Lady of Mount Carmel Parish and our traditions, what events or traditions come to mind? Is it the feast celebration? Is it our Christmas or Easter masses? Or going to those beautiful liturgies with your family? Is it the spaghetti dinner? Is it the tradition of your family member being an altar server or volunteering in some way? Traditions are something that are near and dear not only to our parish, but to our Catholic community as a whole. I remember the traditions of OLMC, and as I remember those traditions, I remember the work that was involved with those traditions and the people behind all of the hard work to keep those traditions alive. When I think of those traditions, I think of my parents. My parents were part of many of the traditions here and the hard work. I remember my dad every summer in June coming home from work and going to the feast grounds to help set up. My father and the group of men that spent their evenings preparing for the feast were the backbone and the success of that feast. I watched, I listened, and I learned all about the Feast of Our Lady of Mount Carmel and the procession that accompanied that feast. I was honored the year I was asked to be an attendant and stand next to the Virgin Mary for the procession. It was a great honor to be asked. I worked alongside my family in the clam stand, and anyone who knew my dad knew he was at that clam stand every year. When I was young, they had only let me fill ketchup cups and butter cups, but as I grew up, I was allowed to serve. When I was a teenager, I would think of the Sunday night picnic. It used to run Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and no one ever wanted to work Sundays after the procession. So my dad and I would be there together on that last night, usually by ourselves. Those are the memories I hold in my heart. My mother was part of the Altar and Rosary Society. And after my children were no longer babies, she would call me up, say, Francine, the ladies are working at the church. Are you going down to help them? I would run down to the church to see if there was anything that I could do to help with the Altar and Rosary Society. I was given the job of bagging Easter breads, tamales, cleaning dishes at spaghetti dinner, many great joys with the Altar and Rosary Society. I genuinely enjoyed helping at all of the events. The ladies have taught me the importance of faith-based volunteer work, and it amazes me to see their hard work, dedication, and attention to detail. I've been blessed to have learned many lessons with this group. My husband joined me and began to volunteer at many parish events. We both saw the need to become involved to keep the tradition strong and growing. We were proud when our youngest son became an altar server and began to volunteer at many parish events. My husband and I are immensely proud and blessed to be part of the feast committee here and hope to keep the traditions alive for many more years. just as those before us have shaped and formed us into living into these traditions. My love for my parish and all of the above mentioned parish events grew from my parents' involvement and the love that they had of them. They instilled the importance of faith and community. These are the two things that I encounter firsthand at OLMC. I have been truly blessed to be part of Our Lady of Mount Carmel Parish family. I consider myself lucky to have been part of all of the love and traditions here at Our Lady of Mount Carmel. Thank you.
See, Francine, that wasn't so bad, and they never clap for me after I get done talking, so, you're one ahead of me. But thank you so very much for sharing what Our Lady of Mount Carmel means to you and those many ways that you get involved in our parish life. I'm sure you do feel a mean ketchup and buttercup for those clams. So everyone should have received a commitment card in the mail. And if you have filled it out and you have it with you, you can place it in our first collection today. But if you do not have it with you, and you would like to fill one out today, there are commitment cards in the back of the church and in the vestibule of the church. So you can fill it out and place it in today's collection basket, or you could hand it to me after Mass. You could also mail it at any point, or just drop it off at the parish office. And you can also, return those cards next weekend in the collection. And even if you are not able to participate financially at this time, and that is okay if you cannot, we do ask that every family fill out a commitment card and turn it in. This will help us to update our parish records, especially with email addresses and current phone numbers, to help us better communicate with you. I'm sure there's many of you who may no longer have landlines, but that's the only number that we sometimes have in our parish records. So it will just help us to update things. So thank you to each and every one of you for your continued commitment and dedication to Our Lady of Mount Carmel Parish. Through her intercession, may we continue to share the love of Christ as his disciples and truly listen to him as our way, our truth, and our life, as we continue to spread his gospel today and hopefully for many, many years to come. God bless you all.